Copyright disclaimer. Under Title 17 U.S.C. Section 107, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing nonprofit, educational, or personal use, tips a balance in favor of fair use. Okay, this is from the Cult Education Institute. Recovery from destructive cults and groups. Children of Scientology Recovery Community, dated June 27th, 2020. Oh, I might not be able to read this. Let's see. For many raised in the church, escape presents a singular problem. They have an identity to go back to, says one former Scientologist. We're trying to discover our identity in a vacuum. Rolling Stone Ash Sanders. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that, especially when you're young. And I imagine it's like magnified if you're a child of Scientology. June 27th, 2020. Hold on. Okay, I had to put my readers on for this. I can't read that small print. Quoted from Children of Scientology, Life After Growing Up in an Alleged Cult. For many raised in the church, escape presents a singular problem. They have an identity to go back to. Okay, I reread that. Says one former Scientologist. So this is the response. Quote, Abigail's fall from Scientology was long and difficult. When she got a job at her mom's secular health care company, she used Hubbard's business principles. How many times have we heard this, you guys? To whip the employees into shape, banning water cooler chat. Isn't that great? Authoritarianism. Instating a uniform policy and writing people to keep their productivity stats up. Work. Unsurprisingly, she made few friends, and her efforts didn't work. In her relationships, things weren't much better. Believing the Scientology notion that all miscommunication is based on some sort of transgression, she tried to resolve fights by getting boyfriends to confess their sins to her. Isn't that like the overts and withholds? Everyone is sharing their stories now, and more people talk about Scientology. The more they talk in Scientologese, sentences stuffed with acronyms and corporate-sounding inspirational phrases. Yeah, it's way worse than the military. However much they might dislike Scientology, its jargon is their native tongue. Some even say it's a relief to talk about code switching, or worrying that they're talking gibberish. You guys think this wasn't like finitely designed? Come on now. There's a reason why the language is so central to the belief system and so hard to shake. According to psychiatrist and thought reform expert, there's that word again, Robert J. Lifton, new lexicons are common in cults and often essential. He calls the practice loading the language and includes it as one of 8 core features of high-demand groups. When the group breaks to smoke, I ask Shelton for a second opinion. Forget the question of emotional repression for a second. If there are words for these feelings already, why not use them? It makes us feel special and unique, he jokes. If we use regular English words, then anyone could do this. But he agrees with Lifton's ideas of cult idioms as thought-terminating cliches. Yeah, that thought-stopping, man, it's like freaking everywhere. It gets people thinking in the cult leader system. He says, it literally makes it harder to think outside the box. Dr. Matthews agrees, pointing out that many high-demand groups have jargon around emotional repression. Some fundamentalist Christian cults use the phrase keep sweet, she says. Isn't that like the show Stay Sweet, Pray and Obey? Ugh, creepy as hell. She says, meaning, that's so creepy to me. That what is that doing is like say, stay submissive, slave, stay submissive, obey. Meaning stop whining, stop complaining. She adds, jargon like that rewrites the brain. Training in disassociation in the guise of improving communication skills for oddity. Quote, Silverman needed that map. As a kid, she struggled with mental health. Yeah, that's what trauma does to people. And often had periods where she'd disassociate. That's severe trauma, you guys. Leaving her brain and come back minutes or hours later. I think it might also be called derealization, but there's a difference between the two. Having particularly or completely forgotten what had happened. She just knew that people thought she was bad. Yeah, people being adults, by the way. Adults. And she worried they were right. Scientology didn't help. That also means I'm going to interpret in my WOG language. Sorry, but that's what they call us. I'm going to interpret. What that means is adults, full-grown adults, didn't help. Let that sink in. Whenever she got sad or griefy, Lara FM has talked about that one, I think. She followed church protocol and did training routines, TRs. I really wish they would mention her age here. Child. According to the church, the exercises are drills to improve communication. Oh, that's the mind control. Skills. In one, Silverman explains 2 people are supposed to face each other for hours. That's a bull baiting, isn't it? Without moving or reacting. Without moving or reacting. Children, you guys. Children. FBI, isn't that a crime? To make children stand still for hours without moving? Abuse? CPS? Without moving or reacting. It's all mind control. In another, she says a person attempts to sit calmly while their partner yells at them to make them react. That's the bull baiting. According to Silverman, their purpose isn't to create calm auditors. To create calm auditors. She's a child. To create calm auditors, child auditors. Also known as against the law to employ children. Also against the law to make children do labor. Also against the law to falsely imprison children in rooms and lock them in there and not allowing them to leave. Also illegal to make them sit there with their hands, not move, not speak for hours. That's abuse. That's against the law. Against the law. Against the law. According to Silverman, their purpose isn't to create calm auditors or clear communications. The goal of some TRs is to exteriorize, to have the soul leave the body and watch it from the outside. That's disassociation, you guys. They're not talking about out-of-body experiences. They're saying that's what it is, but they're making the child disassociate. Just go look at the book, Training of an Illuminati Slave, or whatever it is by Fritz Springmeier. Facts. She now suffers with diagnosed DID. There you go. A lot of children that grew up in satanic cults with SRA have disassociation and numerous alters. Facts. Dissociative identity disorder. It says that when she comes back from an episode, she's sometimes sitting up straight, hands on knees. That was somebody programmed her to do that. Go read Kathy O'Brien. In the TR position, Silverman knows that she would have had mental health issues regardless. No, she wouldn't have. No, she wouldn't have. She's just not there yet. Regardless of her upbringing, but she also believes that a good doctor would have helped. Facts. Being not abused would help. Being not traumatized, she wouldn't have this. Scientology. Since Scientology is opposed to psychiatry, that's because they're mandated reporters. And doctors are mandated reporters. Isn't it freaking interesting, right? Viewing it as a cover for human rights abuses and an elaborate and deadly hoax. According to a representative for the church, Silverman never got that good doctor. Another child ruined. Dated 6/27/2020. Like and subscribe if you choose. I will leave a link in the description box. Otherwise, have an amazing day or night, wherever you are. Peace.